Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about anticipatory anxiety and rumination. I'm Rita and today it's all about you. All of us had already experienced a great amount of anxiety about something that didn't really happen yet. So something that it's in the future, maybe in near future, and didn't happen, but only the idea of this thing just causes a big stress and a big anxiety. Sometimes it's not really something specific, but just some kind of fear of that something didn't work out or that something is going to happen that could be a bad thing. And all of these things we can call anticipatory anxiety. This is something that is distinctive from anxiety disorders. So this anticipatory disorder usually happens because our thoughts are previewing negative events. So our thoughts are saying to us that they are thinking of things that they are not positive, and these negative things can really happen. So these are only our mind playing the trick, because these negative things didn't really happen and we don't know if they are going to happen. So this is just our mind playing a trick about fear and really being afraid that all of these bad things can happen. But the bad part is that this gave us really true symptoms. And usually these symptoms are physical ones like hyperventilating, chest pain, muscle spasms, difficulty in breathing, difficulty in concentration, apprehension and rumination. This is what we call suffering from anticipation. And this can really be limiting our life and a true challenge because we keep avoiding certain situations. It can be really stressful and give an extra weight in relationships. And this variation of anxiety disease can really cause even panic attacks, like when you are afraid of certain situations and when you turn your fear in a much bigger state. So this is when, for instance, aerophobia can grow up, social phobia can grow up, or even other kind of phobias. On the other way, rumination is a symptom of some kind of anxiety issue or even depression. This is one of the symptoms that are very common in both of these big disorders, and it consists in a repetition in our head of negative thoughts. It can be also the repetition of images, of problems, of situations, of experiences, and can be regarding the self or regarding other people. This repetition of negative feelings can really raise anxiety and interfere with the problem solve skills, which in the end can cause a really low self-esteem and a really low self-confidence. And of course this can possibly lead to other depressive symptoms. So negative thoughts can cause negative feelings that increase stress, that increase anxiety, that cause more stress, that can cause more negative feelings that come from negative thoughts, and this is always circular, and this is something that sometimes it's really difficult to live and to get out of. So rumination can be a symptom, as we already saw, has anxiety or even depression, but can also be a mental health issue per se. because it can cause a very negative impact in the way we're thinking. So we can cause an impact in our thinking process. And in some cases, this can lead to obsessive compulsive disorders, or even sleeping, eating, affective and or social disorders. This anticipatory anxiety and rumination is intimately linked to our negative inner voice. It's a way that our brain finds to persist with negative thinking. And we keep worrying because we start to believe that we are really threatened, that all the things that we are thinking are real. And doing this kind of thinking, we convince ourselves that we can have some kind of control of things that can happen in the future. And at the same time, we use rumination to remind us that bad things had already happened in the past and that they can happen again. So rumination is going to our past and just remind us all the bad experiences and situations that we live, and that this can be repeating. So that's why these two things are intimately related. So rumination can also be a product of a post-traumatic experience, and both process, rumination and anticipatory anxiety, are really persistent and really can interfere in our daily life process, in our daily life function. It can interfere deeply with sleep, and it can interfere deeply with our concentration too. It gives us an extra weight in our emotional suffering and in pain. So all the worries are usually linked to the future, and the rumination part is always linked to the past. The first thing to help coping with these situations is trying to find a way to have a better sleep. So it's important that we can give the opportunity to our brain to relax, at the same time as we can have and should have pep talks with ourselves, and really trying to get out of this negative thoughts, this rumination. So try to make an effort to concentrate in other things, to tell yourself that maybe this is not really happening and maybe this is not really the truth, and be more empathic and supportive of yourself and your decisions. Make an effort to distract yourself. Find activities that you like to do, and at the same time that you understand, that give you the opportunity to just move you away from these negative thoughts and this spiral of thinking. In the case of phobias, most of the times and most of the phobias, they only pass and they only go away when you can face them. So my advice is to try to face your phobias. This is very, very difficult to do by yourself, but maybe you can find, for instance, somebody that you trust, a friend that can go and be with you in the moments that they are more tense and that can cause more anxiety, and maybe with help with other people you can eventually just go and be dealing with your phobia in a much more healthy way. In another way, if you need some other kind of help, and if you think that you are too deep in your phobia, you can always contact a health professional and find some tips and find some help that in that way you can just go and be a little bit more free from your phobia. Another thing that can really help is to avoid triggers, understand which triggers they are and try to avoid them, and try to feel a little bit, or to live a life a little bit more relaxed. Try to be a little bit more mindful and have a little bit more relaxation moments if you think that this can eventually help you. If all of these strategies are not helping you, just go search for a mental health professional that can help you dealing with all of these things. Don't think that this is a light thing just because everybody or most of everybody has these kind of feelings. This is something that it's serious. This is anxiety, and has any kind of type of anxiety, this must be addressed and must be treated as something that you need to be able to deal with help or without any help. So try to understand that this is something that is serious, and that this can lead you to other kind of issues that are much more heavy, and that can make you stop function in a normal way in your daily life. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, share with a friend, comment if you want, and next time we're gonna be talking about twins. So I hope you stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Bye.